Today's class is going to be operators in JavaScript. So this is our tutorial 5 in our 2019 beginner to expert JavaScript tutorial. So if you've not subscribed, click on the subscribe button below this video to subscribe so that you get notified when a new lesson is made. We are still in lesson 4, so you can meet up. If this is your first time joining this lesson, please go through tutorial 1 to 4. You can still meet up and subscribe so that you motivate me to continue making these lessons. And also, if you have a comment, you have some questions you want to ask, you have some difficulties learning programming, leave it for me in the comment box below this video. If you like this video, click on this thumbs up button below this video. Alright, so this is it. Let's now talk about operators in JavaScript. Operators, it is something very important in programming. Operators is simply a symbol that takes two values, two variables, two operands, and performs an operation in them. So if you have two numbers, we have 10, we have 20, you want to add them together, you use an operator called the plus sign. You want to divide, you use the divide sign, or divide symbol, or divide operator. So these operations are performed using operators. So we don't actually call them plus, minus, divide, we call them operators: addition operator, subtraction operator, division operator, and so on. So in lesson 4 we discussed variables. Here in operators we call it operands. So if you have these things that have to be combined with an operator, you call it operands, and the output is going to be called result. So let's take an example. We have x is equal to y plus z. So in this case, we have y and z are operands, while x is the result. So there are many operators to discuss. We have arithmetic, comparison, logical operator, bitwise, assignment, conditional, and the type of. The interesting thing about operators is among these operator types, there may be some operators that are similar in these different types of operator, but perform different functions. So later we can see that the plus operator can work with numbers. To add two numbers, it can also work with strings to concatenate or join two strings together. Let's start with the first one, arithmetic operator. This is the most simple operator you will know. Arithmetic operator simply performs mathematics. So many don't like to hear the word mathematics, but this is simple arithmetic. So you have add, you have subtract, you have divide, and you have multiplication. Then the important one I want you to take note of is the modulus. So modulus returns the remainder when an integer division is performed. For instance, when you say 10 over 3, so let me just write, when you say something like 10 divided by 3, now 10 over 3 is going to be equal to 3 remainder 1. So the answer is going to be 3 remainder 1. So now the modulus operator is going to return 1. So if you say 10 mod 3, the answer is going to be 1. So it returns the remainder when an integer division is performed. So this basically will not work with numbers, with non-integers like 10.4 or 3.0 or something like that. We also have the increment operator. So when you say something like x is equal to 10, x is equal to 10, and below you say x plus plus, that means add 1 to x. Again, if you say x minus minus, it means subtract 1 from x, and that is how it's going to be. So x plus plus is going to return 9. So if you say something like y is equal to x plus plus, it means our y will have a value of 9, and we say z is equal to x plus plus minus minus x, as z will have a value of 9. So this is the example program. Maybe you can just copy it and just see and run it and see what we have. And I'll recommend you also do the same thing. So I'm going to copy this. This is a complete. So I'm going to save it as HTML. All right. So on this time I'm going to save it as prog5. All right. So save. So we have different operations performed here. We have x is equal to 33, y is equal to 10, z is equal to text. So why this is added here is to show you that plus sign can actually be used to perform concatenation. We can say z is we can say x plus z. So you have 33 plus text. This is an interesting result that you are going to get. So I'd like you to run this program, try to do it yourself and see what you can get out of it. Now this is not confusing, this is very clear because we've declared variable x is 33, y is 10, z is text. Now variable line break is equal to this. So we are saying that line break holds a line break, that is a new line character. So each time we write line break, we are actually writing a new line character. So it's going to write a new line character. When HTML encounters, let me try to increase this a little bit. So when the HTML document encounters BR, this BR here, it simply adds a line break. It doesn't display it on the screen, it simply adds a line break or a new line character. Alright, so this is how this works. So I'm going to actually view this page. So I'm going to open the directory we've been working with, program 5, and you can see this place. So basically I'm going to show everything side by side so that you'll be able to appreciate how it works. So we have x plus y is 43, 10 plus 33. We have x minus y, x over y, x modulus y, because this is a modulus operator, and so on and so forth. Let's go to the next one. This time we are going to be talking about the comparison operator. So when you have equals sign appear 2 times, that means it's not an assignment operator, it means you are comparing the two. This is how you read it. You read it x equal to y. So x equal to y is read this way. Is x equal to y? So it's asking a question, right? Good. So the result of comparison operator is going to be either a true or a false. So just know that the comparison operator either result in either a true or a false. Again, we also have this operator means is x not equal to y? Is x greater than y? Is x less than y? And so on and so forth. So that is how to read it, and that is basically how it works. Let's take an example to see exactly how this plays out. So I'm going to copy this HTML file and use it to actually replace the previous HTML file, and then you see exactly how it works. So I'm going to save it as a HTML document. Oh, okay, yeah, save as HTML document. So here x is equal to 20 and y is 10, y is equal to 20. And let's see what is happening here. So document.write, this is a literal, we are just writing x is equal to y. Will give us, so this is just will give us or will produce or will yield. Result is equal to x equal to y. So here in this line we are saying result is equal to is x equal to y. So if the answer is true, the result is going to be true. In this case, the result is going to be false. So we are going to view this page side by side and we'll see how it works. I'm going to simply refresh and let's see what is happening here. So let's take the first one. Is x equal to y? No, false. The next one says, is x less than y? True, because x is less than y. The next one says, is x greater than y? The answer is false, which is this one. Is x not equal to y? It's true, x is not equal to y, and so on and so forth. So that is how the comparison operator actually works. Let's look at another thing. Logical operator. So this relational operator, it works actually with the bits of this operator. So it performs logic, right, on the operator. So let's see. Logical operators are used for performing logical operations. So let's take some examples. If x is 10 and y is 20, then when we say x and y, what does it mean? It says if both operands are non-zero, then the condition holds true. So x and y is true because x is not 0, y is not 0. So if both operands are non-zero, it returns true. Again, the logical operator returns either true or false. So we have this logical OR. It says X or Y. So in this case, if any of the operand is true, it returns true. So we have this NOT operator inverts the current operation. So if we have X and Y is true, but when we put this logical operator here, this logical NOT, it becomes false. So it's called a unary operator. A unary operator performs an operation in only one single operand. So basically we have NOT. Simply put this symbol before the expression or before the operand. Alright, let's see an example. So let's again copy this code and then paste it and then see how it plays out. So I'm going to paste it here and I'm going to save it as HTML. Okay, I've saved it already as HTML. So let's view it side by side. I'm going to refresh this. So we have X and Y. Let's see what it gives. So in this case, we have X is equal to true, Y is equal to false. So since both of them are not true, the final result is going to be false. So and operator, logical and is and. This symbol is called the ampersand symbol. So X ampersand Y means that X and Y must be true or non-zero. Alright, so basically the second one goes in the same way. So I hope you understand this. If not, take some time, read the explanation in the procedures page and it's going to be clearer to you. Now I have this bitwise operator. Now I'm going to actually reserve this for a different tutorial because this has to do with having some knowledge of binary numbers and how binary addition, binary subtraction is actually performed. So let's kind of skip this for now and put it in a different lesson so that we don't get confused. And finally, we have the assignment operator. This assignment operator we have equal to, it simply says assign what is on the right hand side, assign it to the left hand side. So this operand on the right hand side, assign it to the operand on the left hand side. We have plus equal to means add and assign. It adds the right operand to the left operand and then assigns the result to the left operand. When we take an example, it's going to be clearer to you. Alright. So we have multiply and assign, divide and assign, subtract and assign, modulus and assign, and so on and so forth. So simply perform the operation and also assign the result to the left operand. So let's do an example and see how it works, and then So I'm going to paste this here, Ctrl V, and I'm going to save, and I'm going to open it up. So let me reduce the size of this thing so that we'll be able to follow. Alright. So let's open up the result and then let me refresh this page. Alright, so when we say X is 33, Y is 10, when we say X result is equal to X is equal to Y, so in this case the result is going to be 10 because we are assigning Y to X, meaning that X becomes 10 and result becomes 10 as well. In this case, we are doing X is equal to X plus Y. So we are saying that X plus, let me just write it, the expanded form of this so that you see exactly what we are doing. So this says X is equal to X plus Y. So that is just simply what we are doing. We are saying 33 plus 10, assign it to X. So when we print out results, we are going to have 43. So let's see. So we have, so basically this should actually be 10, 20, right? So 10 and 20. Alright, so that was a little error there. Let's see. Perfect. So, and so on and so forth. So when we say X plus is equal to Y, so I think we are mixing up something. So let's see. So let's take a look at this. So we have X plus is equal to Y. So we are saying that X plus Y, which is 20, equal to X. So when we print out the result, we are going to have 10 plus 10, which is 20. So that is how it plays out. So we multiply the two. Let's look at this one. This is multiply. We have x times y, 10 times 10, 100, assign it to y, assign it to the result, and we have 100. So this is quite easy, just explaining it, but it is quite clear. If you look at the explanation on the website, try to go through it with this code, do it yourself, it becomes clear. This is a bit dicey, the conditional operator. So this evaluates a condition. If it's true, it now assigns a particular operand. If not, it takes a second one. So this one is easier when we see how it actually works. So I'm going to just copy and then I paste it out there. Alright, so in this case we have x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. Now let me just isolate where it works. So now when this code executes, I'm going to increase the font. Yeah, fine. So when this code executes, what is going to happen? What is going to happen is saying that it's going to evaluate this condition that says, is x greater than y? If true, then result is 100. If false, result is 200. In this case, the question is x greater than y? The answer is false. It means that the result is going to be 200. So that is actually how this plays out. So I'd also like you to spend some time on it and understand it. The type of operator simply returns the type of the operand. So when you apply the type of on a number, it returns number. If you apply it to a string, it returns string. It simply tells you the type, the data type of the operand. So try to do all this yourself. So in the end of each code, you can see I said you can try different values, right? So in the end of each code, I encourage you, recommend, try to use different values and see what you have, and make sure that this gets into your head. Make sure you get it around your head and your fingers, and it becomes clear to you, so that when we move on to a bit more challenging tasks or topics in JavaScript, it becomes not a problem for you. I would like to thank you for viewing, reminding you to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed, and also we'll see you in the next lesson.